It's official. After this episode, Fango has moved up into the best boy and best chef of 91 days. This man just straight up made a masterpiece. Would you like some Don Oracle with your lasagna? That was savage. That was fucking savage. Straight up, like, I knew it had to be something like that because of the title of the episode. The title of the episode was called To Slaughter a Pig. And then, as we know, one of the big things about Oriko's entire character was that he constantly ate at his restaurant. He wanted lasagna, he wanted these certain foods, cooked right. And seeing at the end where Fango is a chef, he's delivering the best dish, lasagna, I'm like, yo, that's straight up that man's body. That's like him chopped up into lasagna meat. I'm like, yo, that's what's gonna be. And when they started chowing down into it, I'm like, oh, because they didn't even have to say, what it was, and I already knew, because I've seen enough anime, I've read enough literature, all sorts of shit, and I've seen some fucked up series to know that would have had Don Oriko's, meat inside of the lasagna. So when they started chowing down into it, and he said it was delicious, I'm like, that's that man's meat. That's straight up Oriko's meat inside of that fucking lasagna. And they're sitting there going to town on it, eating it, saying it's delicious. And when all of a sudden they start puking because they see teeth and shit inside of it. Dude, it turned into something very twisted at the end of this episode. So, yeah, 91 days. It got me. It definitely got me multiple times in this episode. And I have to say, best episode yet of 91 days. Hands down, best episode yet, because one of the things that really got me and actually surprised me was the scene to where Angelo shot Nero. I thought Nero was dead. I gotta be straight up with all of you. I thought Nero was gonna be dead as fuck. When Angelo walked up, he already was talking to Don Ortico about, the possibility of how he wants to take out these people that hurt his family. He was telling the truth. And then all of a sudden you get to the scene to where Angelo shoots Nero. I'm like, yo! It's happening. Holy shit. So you have it to where Angelo's probably going to work with Don Ortico to take down, the other mafia families. I'm like, oh, this is pretty badass. Can't wait to see where it goes. But then we had a plot twist, and no, apparently it was all fake. It was orchestrated to where it looked like it was a fake shooting, and then Don Ortico got captured, and then he got turned into lasagna meat. Now, I was completely surprised. I gotta hand it to 91 Days, because there's many series I watch to where you have a character that needs to kill this said character, or this character needs to die, and the character can't be dead. Like, there's no way that character's gonna come back, or, there's no way that character's really in any danger. And judging by, how the plot has been with, 91 Days, how we know it's kind of been building up, we all probably assumed at that moment that Nero was dead, but then when he's alive, it was a big shocker and surprise that really built up the impact of the episode, because you didn't expect the outcome to turn into something like that. Because when I saw him get shot, and you saw the way Angelo's face was, you're like, that man's dead. And I really loved the way the entirety of the episode was kind of built up to that, and then that final part with Fango. Just great moments throughout the entirety of this episode. So, one of my favorite moments, though, I have to say, like I said, was the Fango moment. Just seeing this man straight up laughing his ass off. He's like, what, you don't like my cooking? You think I poisoned it? No. That made me just laugh my ass off. I'm like, yo, this man's not gonna poison the food. He's gonna feed you Don Ortico himself. So, yeah, episode. Oh my, I got a good laugh. I got a lot of, I guess, tense vibes throughout the episode. It was an action-packed episode here and there, and it had a lot of good elements to it that really makes this series really work, especially when it comes to the Mafia theme. So I felt like this episode, out of all the things we've seen so far from 91 Days, this episode encompassed everything we love from the series. All the different themes from 91 Days when it comes to the Mafia theme, to betrayal, to revenge, to, doing these little schemes behind the scenes, to, being an expert chef, just all these little things compiled into one episode. It really made this episode work and mesh correctly. And I gotta say, I truly enjoyed this episode, and this is gonna probably be a hard episode to beat when it comes to the quality of what was put into this episode. Animation wasn't the best thing ever, or the art, but when it came to the points that did count with the animation art, it definitely was good to look at. So I really have no problems with this episode. I really don't. I really have no problems whatsoever. The only thing I have to say, though, was one of the things that Angelo did in this episode was very, very risky, because when he told Don Ortico about himself, he was telling him about the truth and all that, and he revealed, like, were you the one that sent the letter? And then Don Ortico was like, no, I didn't send it. That's probably instantly what made Angelo decide to kill that man right there. But when you got to the point of finding out about the certain information of Angelo, of how he was revealing it to, you know, Don Ortico, it was very risky, because, I mean, after he shot, you know, Nero was still alive, so that entire conversation that was going on, Nero could hear it. He could know what's going on, so Don Ortico could have easily have, like, spilled the beans or said something that could have made Nero worried, and then, you know, Angelo's entire position, what he's been trying to build up for these last couple episodes, would have been thrown out of whack, and he would have had to do something, probably even kill Nero right then and there. So, I mean, he took a big risk, a big gamble to accomplish what he did, and once again, this complicates the relationship between these two characters. As I said in my last anime review of 91 Days, the relationship between Nero and Angelo, it's very complicated. I mean, we know Nero is the one that was a part of the killing of Angelo's family, but seeing how these two have been growing closer connected, and how, you know, you had to where Angelo missed his chance of killing Nero, there's more going on here, and it's definitely going to add to something very complicated in the future when the scene finally happens again. We got a reenactment of what happened this episode, but it's absolutely legit to where Nero needs to die. I can't wait to see that scene, exactly what decision maybe Angelo will make at that time, but so far, for now, with this episode, I had fun. I had a lot of fun watching it, and yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. You have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.